I salute you today. I greet you. It is an honor to serve you, and it is really wonderful that you watch the content I make, and I'm honored. And thank you for being around. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and being willing to be a part of it all the way. So today, my main focus is on the irony in which the pendulum upon which the education system hangs swings only to the side of the teacher and is held there by some unseen force without swinging back to the side of the system makers or the system developers. In that narrative, we see an imbalance. And as a result, there is a lot of blame that is on the side in which the pendulum stays. And this pendulum is designed to stay in one side, and by nature, the pendulum was designed to swing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But in this specific narrative, we see the pendulum upon which the education system hangs, swinging to the teacher's side and not swinging back to check the side of the system developers. And at the end of the day, most of the system failures are based on the active teachers. So in this narrative, I am not trying to vindicate teachers and make them look like they are absolutely perfect. We agree that in very many ways that I may not clearly express right now due to issues of time, we have some indifferent teachers who have not continuously followed the pattern of the code of conduct as per training is concerned. However, the biggest percentage of teachers in our country are aligned to the system and they are obedient to it at whichever cost. So we see the paradox of blame in a weightier expression. We see the blame of a teacher due to a system failure, and the teacher is an individual who comes in the picture to follow the system that is already developed. And they are following this system with a job description. Very many system developers have already finished the systems and they already know exactly the outcomes, and they know how much each teacher is going to be paid. So at the end of the day, in a system that teachers did not develop, they take the big blame when there is a system failure. And these are the people who come in to follow the system that is already developed. And in most cases, they have no say or ability to make any changes on a fundamental layout that has been established by the system owners. So, what do I mean in this narrative? I am trying to say that teachers come on board or educators come on board with a job description and with a specific pay in in a situation they have no say and they cannot make changes. And then when there is a system failure, when there is a problem, the developers forget that maybe, just maybe, there could be some things that were not well developed within the fabric of the system itself. And they overlook all the possibilities of imperfections during laboratory stages of this system. And then they conclude that somehow, somewhere, teachers are generally not doing or playing their roles. Now, let's have at the back of our minds that these teachers are given a salary or a pay that is not corresponding to the to the specifics of the kind of job that they do in those classrooms where very few are watching. And I'm not saying that all teachers are hardworking, but this is what I'm saying. Majority of the teachers that are passionate and are after looking at changes happening are really self-driven. And we find out that in a system where there is little pay available for team players, there is also little time for them to maybe do a side venture, because they are the least paid, they are the hardest, they work the hardest, and they are the most blamed when there is a system failure. And remember that the majority of the majority of teachers in this country, actually, their retirement plan is left for luck to describe. I may not go there so much, but it beats my understanding that the system does not even give allowance for a teacher to have a side venture. And when that happens, it is interpreted as somebody who is losing focus, or somebody who is getting out of pattern and principle. So at the end of the day, in this narrative, it is very important for us to clearly understand what educators go through, especially in a system they never developed. And at the end of the day, they are the most blamed when we have system breakdowns and system failures. So like I told you, it is very rare for us to have citizens that are willing to become shock absorbers of any kind of shock that is coming from a system that was not developed by these kind of people. So we can see what really these people go through. At the end of the day, they are working on commands, and they are expected to produce results in a pre-programmed circumstance in which the results that they are producing are only assessed by aggregates and percentages of marks in and the nature of the learner's book. Honestly speaking, those are good assessment methods, but they do not depict the weight of work that has been invested in a child who is still in the process of development. The assessment program that is mainly based, assessment programs that are mainly based on looking at percentages of marks and aggregates and the learner's book do not depict the weight of work that has been invested in making sure that there is progress in this learner's children, in this learner's life. So at the end of the day, even during the process of development, there are very many countless efforts that are made and unrecognized in the background and unappreciated. And then at the end of the day, even during the process of making something good out of a child, the people who fund this system, these are the parents, they come up with complaints, and these complaints are forwarded to the system developers who are majorly in the private sector, the directors that run schools. They are the ones who make the system that has been developed implemented. In most cases, there is a bigger system that is created by the government, but there are also other systems that are running private schools which are purely 100% influenced by school owners. And when parents call them with a bias on how slow their children are progressing in education, this bias causes directors to mount pressure on teachers and in most cases extend blames without even a little bit of gratitude of what the teachers have been doing in the absence of the parent and the director. So at the end of the day, even when there has been progress in the child, in the life of a child or the life of the learner, there is the progress is not going to be overnight, and it is a process to bring about transformation and change of behavior and performance so that expected results can be seen. And because parents are also pre-programmed to look at the learner's workbook, to look at aggregates, and to look at percentages to determine a learner's progress, we have a long way to go if we are to bring about a change in the education settings of our country. So parents need to be oriented, and they need to understand that sometimes they bring to us children who cannot learn at the same pace. And two, sometimes they bring children from different schools who were under a specific setting, and change of environment and change of setting brings this child to factory settings. We have to first undo everything the other school has been doing to make sure this child comes on board. And when there is a little shake, the parents start complaining. Teachers are doing nothing. Teachers are doing nothing. Teachers are doing nothing. And of course, because they are funding the system developers will sideline with them. But it is improper to blame the people that are trying the hardest to make sure that systems work. It is improper and unwise. And I suggest that it is also a form of step ahead to reconsider blaming instead of blessing. We have to reconsider the efforts that are in the background of every kind of work that is produced. We also have to understand that some things take time to materialize, and then in the doing of that consistently, we shall both realize good results. Thank you so much for being patient and for listening to this content I make. And may God bless you.